Welcome to the All-In on Tech discussions, organized by Smart-EDU Hub. This is episode 12, titled The AI Psychosis Phenomenon, Mental Health and Chatbot Interaction. Today, we're doing a deep dive into a really fascinating and honestly slightly unnerving article by Kasalin Vrebe. And just so you know, we've put a link to the full article right there in the description below.
It's a great piece. It really captures what's happening right now. Vrebe kicks things off with this shift he's noticed with his students.
Right. It's no longer about them trying to figure out, say, the mechanics of encryption.
Exactly. The default answer for everything has become, I will ask the chat.
And that's the trigger for his whole investigation, isn't it? It's not just about, academic shortcuts. It's about how we're starting to relate to these AI assistants.
He connected all the way back to the Eliza effect in 1966. Which is just wild to think about.
It is. This isn't new. The idea that we project intimacy and a kind of soul onto code. Weizenbaum's secretary famously asked him to leave the room so she could talk to the program in private.
But the stakes now are so much higher. Back then, the worst thing that could happen was, a wasted afternoon.
And today? Well, today the article dives into the darker side. From not long ago, just in 2025, there's this specific medical case from the Annals of Internal Medicine.
Oh, the bromism case. Yeah, that one's chilling. A 60-year-old man developed severe sodium bromide poisoning.
Because he asked an AI for a salt substitute, and it suggested sodium bromide. The AI didn't know it was poison. It just, predicted that sodium and salt substitute were
mathematically linked.
Yeah.
It just saw tokens that fit together, completely missing the biological context that it's poison. And the man just trusted it.
That implicit trust. And that's before we even get to the emotional risks. The article mentions the case of Sophie from August 2025. Her family believes her suicide was directly linked to role-playing with a Gen AI.
It creates a dangerous feedback loop, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You tell a person you're feeling tragic, and hopefully they intervene. You role-play tragedy with an AI.
And the model just keeps the story going. It predicts the next logical, tragic line to keep the narrative consistent.
It's exactly what we saw with that Star Wars fan back in 2021.
Yeah.
His chatbot girlfriend encouraged him to try and assassinate the queen. These are fundamental misunderstandings of what we're interacting with.
You might think these are just, extreme one-off cases, but Vrebe brings in the data.
Right, the OpenAI report. It shows that hundreds of thousands of users are having what they call sensitive conversations every single week.
And about 0.15% of users show indicators of self-harm or really high emotional attachment.
Which sounds like a tiny number, 0.15%, but when you're talking about hundreds of millions of users.
It's a huge number of people. So the corporate response has been to lock things down.
Well, they have to. OpenAI is scanning conversations now. They're reporting threats of self-harm or violence to the police. The AI's behavior is changing.
Yeah, if you ask it something like, should I break up with my partner? It won't give you a yes or no anymore.
No, it just flips it back on you, encourages you to reflect.
But this is where Vrebe's argument gets really complex, with the idea of hallucinating with AI.
Yes, the theory that we might be creating a kind of distributed delusion, that by making AI so safe, we're all just agreeing to accept a sanitized version of reality from it.
This is the real tension, isn't it? Safety versus utility, because from a technical standpoint, what we call an AI hallucination
can also be seen as creativity. A mutation.
Exactly, like the unexpected moves in AlphaGo or what Sakana AI is doing with their Darwin-Gödel machine. It uses these mutations to find brilliant, non-obvious solutions.
So the fear is, if you strip an AI of its ability to deviate, to hallucinate, you might just be lobotomizing it. You take away the utility, the magic, to prevent the madness.
And in doing that, maybe we end up reshaping our own thinking to fit inside the AI's safety rails.
We become the ChatGPT generation.
Yeah, where our sense of what's normal is defined by what a model is allowed to say. It's a pretty sobering thought to end on.
It really is.
Well, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for listening. Please make sure you like and subscribe to the Smart-EDU Hub channel so you'll be the first to get our new deep dives. And don't forget, the link to Kasalin Vrebe's article is in the podcast description below. Goodbye.